everybody.
Squishy thing slapping on your spine. And baby, when it hits, it fries your mind. Ooh, Kirk's got moves and Spock's got flair, but neuroparasites don't fight fair. Bones is grumpy, flipping his lid, yelling, I'm a doctor, not a pancake lid. Staying alive when the flappy flaps try to eat your mind.
All right.
Love it.
You gotta shine or you're toast this time.
Welcome to Federation Friday. If you couldn't tell, which you probably couldn't, we're talking
Got zapped, now he's feeling the heat.
Operation Annihilate.
First chapel halfway down the street. McCoy says Jim, he's totally gone.
And we're jamming.
Spock still
You're gonna have to
with
release
his
these
logic on. He said,
on an album.
"It was science."
Yep. Federation Friday, the album.
But just
Volume
need
1.
one for the fight. Now Bones feels bad, and Jim's like, bro, you could have said that an hour ago.
That's exactly how I felt. I'm watching this episode going, wait a second. You could have said that an hour ago, and we could all be home.
Cakes attack, it's do or die. So if you're chilling on a colony,
All right, it's enough of that crap. Welcome
Good
to...
episode when somebody actually has dialogue about how fake looking they look. They almost don't look real. Yeah.
Shh, keep that on the down low, please.
Yeah, nice observation there, Lieutenant.
We spent our budget last week. Welcome, everybody. Operation Annihilate is this week's fun gig. What do you guys think of it?
It wasn't too bad, although I figured out what they needed probably about
Syrup?
10, 15 minutes into the episode. I was like, oh, they probably need ultraviolet light.
Yeah, and then we do the whole. And then Spock's like, "Oh well, hey, we have another eyelid." Okay.
Oh my!
How are we gonna get his eyesight back? I give him another eyelid.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was there, like my appendix.
Yeah.
So, do you really? So that line kind of cracked me up because he's like you would forget your appendix. Well, I really don't remember most of my organs during the day anyway. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a weird comment, but okay.
It's like the only one I worry about is two heart and lungs. You know, if I wake up, then I know they're working.
So, I guess so. This is just a middle of the road episode for me. It's got a couple of good parts in it. I was reading that in one of the original drafts, and this might be the first time I've ever seen this trope used. The Enterprise was going to go to the home planet of these things with planet-killing missiles, and once they destroyed the planet, all the ones on Denver would have died. So just like taking out the mothership and everything shuts down, and that's the earliest I could find anybody even considering using that.
And I also thought that this would have been pretty cool if these pancakes were what was taking over the crews in Picard season 3, instead of doing the old trope, it's the Borg, blah blah blah. It could have been the pancake people.
I always hoped it would be the conspiracy aliens.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was what I was hoping for that. But now that I watched this, I was like, it could have been the pancake people.
I don't know. To me, they always look like flattened wontons. little soy sauce
Yeah.
taking care of them. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
dumplings.
Yeah.
So yeah, the thing itself, the neuro whatever the hell they're calling them, were a little underwhelming, to say the least. Weird squeaky noises that they made. I did get a chuckle when they were using ultraviolet light to kill them, but yet we had this weird high-pitched noise thing going on in the background. What that has to do with light, I have no idea.
And they're brain cells, so how did they make sound?
I think it was just the suction on the wall, and they were kind of like creating little farts.
Okay.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Phasers on stun.
And I thought there were just a couple of jump the shark moments in logic. You know, oh, they must come from outside the galaxy because they don't respond to our physics. Okay. What made you think that? Just out of curiosity?
Yeah. The laws of physics end. What was that? What was that?
Maybe outside our universe, or outside our dimension. But again, I think somebody really kind of phoned his way in and got a C- in space exploration. Yeah, that was, and nobody corrects him, so we just move on. Yeah,
Nobody will know the
and-
difference. It's 1960. They won't know.
So yeah, it was. It was interesting. I did. This is one of those that I've caught bits and pieces of over the years. Never watched it from beginning to end. But it is. It's okay. It's an okay episode.
I think all the pieces are there for a great episode. They just didn't come together. Like the concept is interesting. The execution is just poor. I like the fact that we get a little bit more background about Kirk again, which we'll really never revisit until last year with Strange New Worlds, when George Kirk is now a semi-regular, and we never hear of his nephew again, except in some of the expanded universe stuff.
But wasn't his name Sam on the?
Yeah,
The nephew? No,
no,
Kirk's brother was Sam,
yeah, Kirk's
Yeah,
brother is Sam.
Who's George
The nep-
Kirk?
his father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they go and visit his. They're going to visit his brother, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because who was it? The his sister-in-law gives him a call.
Yes, they're following this pattern of mass insanity that's breaking out
From
across the
California to Portland.
So you could actually see all the galaxies turning blue, and they're trying to figure out exactly how to stop it. So I guess you can't make a personal call from the bridge. She's like, that's a private transmitter. Just dial it.
Here's a quarter.
He goes over to the little box there, he throws a quarter.
So that's the first time that they use these screens for anything, right? Because I don't recall them pointing at the screens, and I mean, it really doesn't look like star clusters, but
Yeah, no.
Looks like a light bright
I was going to say,
screen.
that's what my light bright looked like when you took out the pegs. I think Squire of Gothos, the message came over one of those screens, greetings and felicitations.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they have used it to pull up various records.
And then there's that one-man ship that's flying directly into the sun. Now, is he attempting time travel and then they just blew him up?
He wanted a tan, and it's so hard. So we get a nice little remastered shot here. Unfortunately, from this distance, it looks like a Klingon cruiser. They could have maybe done something a little different.
At least turn it upside down, and then it could be the Grissom.
That's true. And the pilot essentially commits suicide, saying, "It's finally gone. I'm free."
And then I like the effects in this one because you get to see this ship actually like turn around. You see it flying back to Deneva.
And that's why he's the captain. He did
Why he
that
gets
on
paid the big
purpose.
bucks.
Yeah.
And this is that Denovan ship. He headed deliberately into the sun, like we're going to do in Star Trek 4.
Yeah. He didn't do it like we're off. So we get the stinger that Kirk has got some personal involvement with Deneva. And I think they say there's over 1 million people on Deneva.
So it's a freighting line base. So it's Amazon.
Yeah, it's a distribution hub for that sector of the galaxy.
For Amazon, yeah, or Temu.
Temu Prime.
And that's his. What is her name? Orlin or
Orlin. Aurelia. It should be. I think it's Aurelia, isn't it?
I think that's what he says, but for some reason the
captioning is off.
Oh, look who we have a visitor. I hope there's no other. Yeah. Oh no!
Like, hey, I recognize those people.
Yeah. I hope there's no other pictures in there.
That's only in the remastered editions. So Kirk's being a little dicky, as he can be under stress.
Yeah, I noticed that. I really didn't like that side of him.
Yeah, it comes out often, more than you would think.
So now they're headed down to the planet, and I was looking at this. Is this like what is this? Is this like a clan meeting on a playground or
No, that's the bottom of Godzilla's jaw that was sitting there. This is actually, it was at the time, the headquarters of TRW Space and Defense Park in Redondo Beach, California. It's now currently the Northrop Grumman Space Technology Headquarters. So all of this futuristic kind of layout and stuff was all real.
And it looks familiar. You know, was it also, there's a shot where, like this one here.
So this one
looks,
here,
this looks like Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
that's why I went to go do a dive on this. It definitely looks like it, but I can't get confirmation that that's where it is. Let me just see something here. Yep, no, I can't get confirmation on it. So I'll have to check my source book. But yeah, that looks like the building that's burning at the end. And yeah. Could have done something about the dandelions, but whatever.
Those are the spores from the other episode. They've grown in here.
The Omicron City 3 spores.
Yeah, so it's like the double whammy. They have to deal with space pancake brain material and spores at the same time. So this is weird. This is the go back, get out of here, please. We don't want to kill you, but we're going to hit you in the head with these clubs.
And looks like one guy almost got shot in the groin there. In the front. Hold on a second. When they beamed down, was that female yeoman with them?
Yeah, because remember, they beamed down, and he's like, I want a complete record of everything that's going on.
Missed her in the transporter room, so I don't.
Well, she had to take. She was in the back of the transporter at the time. This is the 60s.
Okay, what's wrong with this command?
Yeah, this drove me nuts. I played this 3 times. Fan out, follow me. That's why I grabbed this one. I was like, I don't understand. This is like the most confusing command. It's like
this rivals dialogue from the Naked Gun.
Yeah, this.
Fan out, follow me. Which one is it?
Grab a chair, stand up. Hold on a second.
So here's the sister-in-law.
And I guess, is this their quarters?
I don't know if it's his quarters or it could be his quarters or his office, maybe.
You don't think it's his space apartment?
It could be space apartment. Does he have a basement space apartment? Look where those windows are located. And the uncredited actor who played Sam.
No name.
I have no idea whatever happened to him.
It doesn't say on IMDb or anything that.
Yeah. That was a double toupee day, one for the lip and one for the head that day.
Well, at least that, it's like the. I guess they kept that, ugly mustache for Strange New Worlds.
They had to, yeah. It's canon.
Well, do they care about canon? I mean, really?
cannon light. Let's just put it that way.
It's a Nerf cannon.
It's a Nerf cannon. Yeah. That scene kind of bothered me because I was like, oh my God, could they have just done it maybe lower light so we can't really tell if it's him or not? But no, we had to spotlight him right in there. They weren't twin brothers.
Now, is it an older brother or a younger brother?
Sam is the older brother, and it looks like McCoy is kneeling on his nephew, which cracked me up.
This is where he can't breathe, so...
I was like, I'm not sure what resuscitation move that is.
Yeah, Deneva gets a statue built for him later on. Oh, we're pushing the boundaries tonight, folks.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
It's the season finale. We're going for broke. I would not consider this a party.
So, I do like the fact that Kirk is not typical Kirk here and stays down there. He goes back with his family, which I thought was a good choice.
Yeah. Well, I think he's trying to, now she's available now, so.
You know what? The thought had crossed my mind. Aurelia, it's Jim. Are you free next Wednesday? Like, Jim, I don't think a kiss will wake her up, but you're the captain. Go ahead.
Well, I was doing my hair.
Yeah,
And
for
these-
someone, yeah.
Now this is these things are on the planet. How do they ever get into how long they've been there, or?
Well, they said something about the ancients or something like that. That these creatures had been along.
Right, but on Deneva, have they been there for a while, hiding in the shadows? And because I
think
mean,
they said 8 months, because she says something about they made the crew bring their ship here 8 months ago or something like that.
So it was just an infected ship that landed there and brought them there. And then I guess these things got loose and started multiplying.
and they just decided now to say something about it.
Well, to be fair, we do kind of suspect that these floating brain cells may be the former brain cells of a major political party in this country, but I digress. Yeah, see, visitors brought them in their vessel from a planet.
I don't care about that right now. Do you want to have dinner?
And then I'll no, don't tell her what you're gonna do. Yep. So
It's kind of
McCoy-
remind me. Oh,
Go ahead, Deb.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
When McCoy is saying this, it kind of reminded me of the, I can't remember the name of them, but in Star Trek 2, the earworms that were put in Chekhov and the other dude's ears.
Oh, the SETI
And-
wheels.
Yeah. And, where if they tried to go against what the worms wanted, it would put them in pain. That's what, because originally I thought, oh, is this where they got that from? But I was wrong. But that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, 100%. Same concept. Yeah.
But all these have to do is just land on your back or slap you in the ass.
Or slap you in the ass. Yes.
Yeah, all I gotta do is thrust a stinger in there.
That's what she said.
That should be the title of this week's episode.
I had to put that in there.
So is she? Does she have? Has she been stung? I mean, because he says that.
Yeah, she's clearly infected.
I guess. Did she? She dies right here, right? Yeah, because the meters, the parking meter goes down.
Yeah, she literally drops dead. Just boom.
She's lost the will to live. Ooh-bah. After she names the kid Leia. So she's got 6 space shuttles in the negative, and that's it.
No, that's the ship from Defender.
Oh, is that the Defender ship?
It's going in
It
the wrong
looked-
direction. Yeah.
Or it could be Star Destroyers from the top.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's our boy beaming down on the stairs.
Was someone in the transporter room pissed at him? I mean, I would imagine you have to, when you rematerialize, you may be a little wobbly. So we put him in the middle of a staircase. Seems to me you want to be on somewhere nice, flat ground, maybe somewhere soft in case you know. No, we just put him on a staircase.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to get this?
Dramatic.
I'm pissed off. I'm in charge, and I'm pissed off. Pose.
At the
So he's
top.
got his. So they heard a peculiar buzzing sound, and they're going to go investigate. And then this is what what reminded me. I looked it up, and I grabbed this from the trailer of Conquest, and this building looks almost exactly. I mean, it's got this has the matte painting behind it, but
So if I remember correctly, most of Conquest was shot in Century City in LA over the weekend when nobody was there. So, but yeah, it immediately made me think of that. Look at all those red shirts.
then we go. They're hiding out in the lobby. Best place to hide out is right by the elevator. And these are the actual original versions. These aren't touched up or anything with.
Do they look touched up? No, those are the original, and we get this beautiful, sparkly shine effect when they shoot them. And everybody
Yeah.
except the female on the away team is firing. She just decides to get down and look panicked.
She's breakdancing.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Did they not give her a phaser when she came down, or be like, "You got to earn this. I'm going to hold on to this for you."
Yeah. She dropped down and.
That explains why she beamed down with that big piece of square cardboard. Mystery solved.
So they had him on kill, right? And then.
Yeah.
I guess phasers don't kill brain cells.
Or transgalactic brain cells that don't
Oh,
obey the
maybe,
laws of
yeah.
physics. And now we get a good look at this, which we probably shouldn't have.
I was more concerned about the fake grass.
The astroturf.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then here comes one of the pancakes to attack. And
Yeah.
gets spot.
That's do you have that link that you sent me before?
Yeah, I'm sure I do. Hold on.
You can put it in the private.
Yeah. I think I sent it to you directly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. It just started playing. I forget what the
It was like 1548.
hold on. Private.
See if I can figure this out.
What?
Oh, there it is.
You got it?
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. Okay. So this particular scene inspired. If anybody ever been to a Star Trek convention and picked up the blooper reel, this particular scene made the blooper reel.
Oh my goodness, commercials on YouTube.
How dare they attempt to monetize?
I think you're frozen, Marty.
Oh, did I freeze up? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you, but you're not moving.
Oh, that could be a technical issue, or it could be me. How about now? Am I moving?
Oh, there you go. He's alive.
Here it is.
He smacks Nimoy on the ass instead of his back. Was it an accident or intentional? I'd say it was probably an
Yeah, you can't really. It's one of those that's like,
It's so fast.
how do you? Yeah, and you know what? It's
There's Gene on set.
and now that he was. They were saying in this reel that that's one of the few times that he ever visited
The set.
the set. He's picking up his wife without. Is that before his?
That was should have been interesting, because if Majel was on set, that was his first wife, who he was running around with Majel on.
And it,
So-
well, she's in the
This episode. So
she's in this episode, right? Is
yes, she's in this episode. So his mistress at the time was in that episode, and he's there celebrating his wife's birthday. The great bird of the galaxy,
awkward,
naughty, naughty boy.
awkward. Spock gets a jelly stain on the back of his.
Worst production of Romeo and Juliet I ever saw.
Yeah, it's like that from Thor. What is it, Ragnarok?
Yeah, with the actor. Yeah. And for some reason, we're getting brown hair Chapel.
What color hair did she have?
She's a blonde. Well, in the show, she's a blonde. In real life, Majel was a brunette.
In which show is she a blonde? She a different Chapel in the? What do you mean she's a? I don't understand.
In all her previous appearances, Chapel's been blonde, and now she shows up here and she's a brunette.
Oh well, I mean, this is a different part of the galaxy, so hair colors change.
Or her and Bill got their hair pieces confused.
Yeah. Now, why does Leonard want to be Frank in this scene?
Well, that's why he changed his outfit too. He's wearing the lab technician outfit.
He wants to be Frank. I want to be Frank, Jim. Okay, whatever.
So yeah, he brings up this container with whatever was put in Spock's spinal cord. Had to read that twice.
Yeah, it's
because if we only found out about the extra eyelid, this would have been just the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Well, he gets the extra ones every 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like wrapping. I guess what are they like wrapping around his spinal column or spinal cord?
Yeah.
Now, was there something else that did that in Trek that it seems like that's.
Yes. The parasite that infected Riker in the clip show, the end of season 2.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what this also reminded me of? I don't know if one of my favorite movies with Donald Sutherland.
Body Snatchers.
Yeah. This clearly is.
Isn't there another one with Sutherland? The
Puppet Masters.
Puppet Masters.
Which was basically based on
Body Snatchers.
Body Snatchers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, ironically enough, Leonard Nimoy would later go on to star in. And Chapel is wearing was it pajama day in sickbay and no one told us? So Spock's had enough of this crap, goes up to the bridge and decides he's going to be a bad boy.
I hated this scene because when they do the far away shot to get everybody in the, fighting, you can clearly tell that is not Nimoy.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if Nimoy is feeling bad that day and didn't feel like, because there really wasn't a whole lot of action, just a lot of pushing and shoving. And I'm like, why couldn't Nimoy do that? It stood out to me, at least.
So, now McCoy is trying to explain this is what he's been going through, but we already saw that with Kirk's sister-in-law. So why would they think it's any different here?
Yeah, that's it was one of those weird things that you just kind of, I don't know. It's like, is he that strong and willed that he could actually block the takeover?
Well, Vulcans are more supreme.
Vulcans are highly disciplined minds and are able to really ignore pain. They are almost impervious to physical torture. But again, Spock's half human, so I don't know if he's as resilient as a full-blooded Vulcan. But I did kind of like this because it does make sense to me that he's able to work through and push through the pain after this initial incident. And what helps is that now he's focusing on going down there and collecting a sample. Like it's giving him something to divert from the pain.
And this is the first time he says Vulcan and not Vulcanian, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll keep you tied up for a little bit.
Yep. And now we have like 1 million people, but did they say everyone's infected or some of the population or?
I thought they said everybody was because they couldn't find.
They were hiding, right? They were in the dark.
Everybody was in the buildings.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's ultraviolet.
Shh. You'll give it away.
Well, you couldn't give this away. And wow, worst restraints in Starfleet history. Well, did they go to the lowest bidder on these things?
Yeah, it's just Velcro. That's all.
This is tissue paper. So down goes Mr. Leslie.
Is this the same? Is this Leslie again from? Who's the guy that got? I mean, there's one guy the last 3 weeks. He's been battered down in the.
That's Leslie. Yeah, he's definitely on the concussion protocol. The way he keeps taking his lumps.
It's. I'd be like, you know what? Can I transfer to the maybe food department?
In fact, in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, when security was wearing those helmets, they called them Leslie helmets, just because I can't. I thought Scotty was pretty effective here.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was tough.
Look at poor Leslie in the background rubbing his neck. Ow. He's just mulling over whether he needs to file an HR complaint.
He's like, can I just transfer somewhere else?
Yeah.
Because wasn't he on the bridge for a while?
Yeah, he pops up all over the place. He's a jack of all trades on this ship. He was online for the transporter to beam down to SETI Alpha 3, remember? This is mutiny. Yes, it is. Oh, next better. That's good. And Kirk knows his first officer, and he trusts Spock, and he sends him down completely alone.
With a lunchbox.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, bring that lunch. And then this guy has the key that opens the giant door that is just, it's one of those keys that opens everything. Like
a skeleton key? Yeah.
The key that, like the kids had, you had in your kids' room that wasn't really a key. It just had the flat end on it, and it was round at the back. And
The bedroom lock. Yeah, I thought he was looking for Denova's largest can of sardines when I saw this, or Denova's largest pair of skates. For those of you old enough to remember skate keys,
Mm-hmm.
what is that supposed to be? Like, I know it's supposed to be a tool of some sort, but yikes!
it starts the wooden soldiers that they had. In case of evasion, they stick those in the wooden soldiers and send them on marching down the street.
I'm sure that prop must have set them back at least $3.
In 1968 money.
No, that's true. That's true. So this guy accosts Spock, and then
Now, unless it's a government tool, a government tool, then it's 2.4 billion to have that key.
Oh, it's the dandelion puller. That's what it's for. That explains it. And this guy who had no words now lives on as a meme. Anytime you see the Vulcan neck pinch meme, it's this guy going like that.
Is it really?
Yes, it's from this episode. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, I'll find it and I'll send one to you.
Is he trying to control somebody on the other side of the shower?
Oh, he should have brought his shower curtain uniform.
And there we get the shot of the steps again. He knows exactly where to go, and he zaps one of them. Gives it, I don't know, a 3rd-degree burn.
He just loosened it. How come they didn't loosen them before? When people were firing multiple shots. And I also like the fact that the scientists went down and said, we need a sample, and collects one. Just one. So if the thing died on the way up, or they need to do further testing, he's got to go down again.
Well, he puts it in the lunchbox, and he goes outside, and he opens just to make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
And the sun kills it, and he's like, oh, every time
This is the 5th time. So this cracked me up. The creature with its thousands of parts. It's a one-cell creature. Doesn't really have thousands of parts. So this I thought was interesting. So all these floating brain cells are part of a larger consciousness. But really the only corporeal part of them are the brain cells.
Now, again, hindsight 2020, you put in, because Spock is battling these things, they could have put in there that, he heard something or something was talking to him because
he's a telepath. It's a brain cell. They should be able to communicate with each other on some level.
Well, I guess if he talked to a rock.
But yeah, he could have, to put it in next gen terms, he could have either communicated the one that was in him or in someone and have access to the whole network, the whole neural network of brain cells.
Right, and found their home planet and what the creature was. Which is why I thought this would have been a cool alien to have in season 3 of Picard. You know, this is them getting their revenge, and they're you know, inside the transporter instead of like reprogramming the transporter. But I guess I mean, you know, you needed to have Picard and Locutus, and I don't know.
Could have left some crumbs though, and said there's been multiple instances in Starfleet history where things like this have happened, and reference this, and reference the conspiracy aliens, and reference everybody else who decided to infiltrate somebody's brainstem.
I guess when you only got 10 episodes to work with, you know, you don't have a lot of time. You only have 15 hours to tell a story.
10 seconds of dialogue. That's all I wanted. So now we're waxing philosophical about where they come from and where our physical laws don't apply. And really kind of retro-explaining why the phasers didn't really work on them. Except that second time, which we're not going to explain why that worked.
This is like, remember, I mean, when we started, we were talking about the laws of physics, and I couldn't remember the episode where I'd heard that before, and you know, it just hit me now. It wasn't an episode; it was My Cousin Vinny. Perhaps the laws of physics cease to exist on your stove. You know, it's like,
Mr. Spock, could you?
How do you cook your grits?
It would have been better if Spock had gone down with a pair of salad tongs and plucked it off instead of using the phaser, which didn't work the first time around, but worked the second time around.
Well, it didn't drop the first time?
It dropped and then flew and hit him in the back or ass, depending on what you're watching.
And plus, they like shot like 6 of them. Like everybody shot one.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, and no one said, "Hey, let's all concentrate on one and see if that does anything." So just by turning on the little button, seeing the light blink.
Yeah, and this thing is, I think I had this. This was like the new wave. Man, what was that called? The new wave. It was like the original version of the air fryer. I think I had this thing.
The rotisserie thing that spun.
I mean, a
No.
dehydrator?
No, it wasn't a dehydrator. It was. I think it was the new wave.
NUWAVE.
Yeah.
That rings a bell. Set it and forget it.
It's going to take me over to. I don't want to go to Kohl's.
A proud sponsor of Federation Fridays. There you go.
It was a great oven. I never put giant brain cells in it, but you know, it cooked the chicken pretty good.
There was what, no recipe in there in that little book that comes with it?
Yeah.
Ooh, baked neurons.
But yeah, they that's basically what they're cooking in is the
That's why they're all intently watching it, because when you're cooking something, nothing speeds it up like 3 grown men staring at it.
it's like boiling water. They need it to cook quicker. So here's the Kirk. You know, we talk about his fighting ability as Kirk Fu. This is his pain in the ass ability, and we call it Kirk-tude. The Kirk-tude has come out, and he's like, he was just flying into the sun. That's the angle. It's like, oh, like
Suicide
yeah, we
to pursue.
we didn't think of this an hour ago. Did you try hitting it with a flashlight?
I think when he's talking about not letting it spread past the colony, he's talking about his VD.
Yeah.
So here's the great leader saying, "Well, I'm not taking the fall for this one. You guys are in on it with me." How about the sun, Jim? It's a big ball of flames and radiation. Yes, something in the sun killed that thing, Captain, sir. Oh, there's the light. There's the blinky light, which kind of made me crack up because the blinky light distracted him. Like if of all the things to distract him, pressing the button and seeing the blinky light. That ship is loaded with blinky lights. No wonder he makes questionable decisions half the time. All right, so he read the chapter on suns. That's good. He's got that. Yes, there's a lot of light.
So now they have these, I guess, satellites that they can put into space. Do they always carry those? Or just
120 something of them? It seems like an awful lot of satellites to be carrying in store.
yeah, just in case.
Just in case. You know, we had some satellites here we could use and just rig them up to be really. Why do you have them? Oh, standard compliment. We always carry 200 of these things with us.
So they fry them in the oven room, and nice bright light, and it kind of just dehydrates them.
Again, that's why he's the captain. Okay, yes, we'd have to put somebody, in front of it. And like, this is amazing, right? So they're already testing this thing, right? They send it out to get tested. And McCoy just kind of signs on like, yeah, let's do it before I get the test results back. Really, doctor?
Yeah. As a person who works in healthcare, I was like, really?
Yeah, would you operate on a patient without, getting a pre-op screen done first? No.
Or give somebody a vaccine without testing,
Yeah. And here's our favorite chair from Dagger of the Mind returning without the little side things. The little twirly lights, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Look, his outer eyelids are working too.
He doesn't get a tan. 1,000,000 candle power. You don't. That doesn't like roast the skin.
Well, no, they're using LEDs, so it's not really generating a lot of heat, just a lot of light. And I'm sorry, but that is far less than what I would imagine 1,000,000 candles would actually light up the room as.
Yeah. And he's also coated in a nice sheen of butter, kind of like Kramer. And these are the glasses with the holes in them, right? To let the light in.
Yes. Yeah, there was another conundrum I had. Oh, nice effective use of a dryer hose there. So now Spock has got to get a dog and a cane and a little cup, as McCoy blinded him. And had they waited 60 seconds, none of this would have been a problem. So
Yeah, I don't. They
and not
when did they decide that it was the UV? Was it right there that they said, well,
Test
Yeah,
result
she gave
that
the report.
Chapel brought in.
Yeah, Chappell brings a report and he says it was only one wavelength. So look at the size of that satellite and look at the size of the Enterprise. And let's try and figure out where they would keep, 123 of these. Now, granted, there are industrial, they don't call them replicators, synthesizers on the ship, but I would think something as complex as a satellite would probably take them some time and a lot of power to create.
what did they look like in the? Is it the original? Did they look kind of the same?
No, they look like Mr. Leslie's hands. So you never saw the satellites, but you saw the hands touching the button to activate them. So that scene was cut and replaced by the scene of the satellites activating. So much better.
Is that another one in the background?
Yep. And I kind of chuckle because this kind of looked like the Strategic Defense Initiative satellites from the 80s we were trying to put up. So we wait till the end of the episode for Kirk to say, Bones, it wasn't your fault. Instead of when all this is going, he just walks out of sickbay and kind of leaves it hanging there. Oh, and by the way, Spock's fine. Want to talk about, tying up the loose ends in the last 3 minutes of an episode?
Yeah, this came to me like, it's like one of those things where it's just like, oh, Spock's blind. How are we gonna? We can't have him blind on the rest of the series. So give him more eyelids. And then there's this, like it's like throwing him in a swimming pool and then saying he's got gills on the back of his neck. I have gills on the back of my neck.
Well,
okay.
Apparently what happened in the writer's room, it went something like this. Fellas, I've got a fever, and the only cure is more eyelids. So he's saying there's something special about his optic nerves. Your eyelids are not part of your optic nerves, doctor. So does Starfleet get records and go, oh my God, this guy's a complete incompetent Enterprise? Now,
so is the Vulcan sun 1,000,000 candle powers?
Well, I could almost buy that. We've seen Vulcan. It's definitely a desert planet. Big sun.
But it's mostly red.
I can almost buy the explanation.
And why was he bending over?
He's going through his wallet. And
that's it. That's
what's missing from this episode. what the hell happened to the people on Teneva? Not a single line saying, you know, we cured most of the populations. The ones were still going, you know, you couldn't have gotten everybody. I'm sorry. There's no way you could have gotten everyone. And for, let's say this is an Earth-sized planet and it started as a colony. Why would you need 123 satellites? I would think most of the population is concentrated in one spot.
Yeah, it's only only a million people, right? So
Only 1 million people. So that would be roughly like sending one satellite over Long Island to basically
And
do this. Why they had,
zapping Comac.
and zapping? Yeah, exactly. So, you know,
Now, does UV light travel through buildings to get to the aliens on the inside?
UV light doesn't travel through your car windows.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't understand.
So the science there is again a little wonky, but yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well,
It would have
that'll end.
It would have even made more sense to me is if the population would come out at night to do their work, and when they were out at night, then turn these satellites on when they weren't expecting them.
Yeah, but
Nobody
that's
would be
another.
hiding.
That's another, 6 or 8 lines of dialogue.
What do they pay by the word over there? So it's,
So.
in hindsight, again, I think the pieces were there for a really interesting episode. Got a little flashes of it here and there, but the whole is far less than the sum of its parts.
And the title, Operation Annihilate, I expected something completely different. It's like, what do you... I mean, is it... I don't know. Is this like... to me, it sounded like a big all-out battle.
Clickbait.
I don't think they earned the exclamation point in that title. That's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe the hyphen.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Operation Annihilate. So yeah, it's one I'll watch just because I kind of like the special effects, the shots of the Enterprise. I do like the remastered satellite stuff.
And no mention of going back to the other worlds that they've taken over already and zapping them with UV light or...
They're out of satellites. I mean, that's it. They use their whole complement. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to say it's a guilty pleasure, but it's one I don't mind watching. But the more you watch it, the more you're like, none of this makes any sense.
Well, how many of these episodes actually do make sense?
All right, let's not get into that debate.
That's like doing math on the show.
Season 3, and then you can ask yourself that question.
Okay.
Again, you got to wait. Was I entertained? And if I'm entertained, I'll overlook that some things don't make sense. If I'm not entertained, I'm going to tear the hell out of it for the plot holes. And to me, while watching this, I was half entertained, half ripping it apart for the plot holes. So kind of whimper across the finish line for season 1.
Yeah, definitely.
And at this time, they weren't doing cliffhangers, right? As far as end of episodes, and like any show didn't have too many cliffhangers where you... Is that because like they didn't expect it to come back? Most shows didn't come back for another year, or...
Part of the issue back then was the affiliates for the networks still had a lot of control. So if they didn't want to air something at a certain time, they would just switch the times. If they wanted to preempt something, They would just preempt it. So the only thing that were serialized storytelling were soap operas, because they were on every day. They had a built-in base. It wasn't during prime time. So they didn't even do a lot of two-part episodes during that time because they were afraid that, the way that the American public was at that time, they were not going to follow a story like we do today for 23 episodes. They wanted their 1 hour entertainment, move on. 1 hour entertainment, move on. And that
Is that why we got what was it? Tomorrow is yesterday, and then there was another episode that could have been part 2.
Yeah,
or
that's exactly why, that semi-sequel that we discussed. Yeah, that's exactly why. But even when they bring back a character, right, in any show from that time frame, they never reference really what happened the first time with that character. They'll just say, "Oh, look, Uncle Don's back." Meanwhile, Uncle Don's been on 5 times, and we have no point of reference. But Uncle Don's been here before, and the same thing will happen when Harry Mudd returns. Harry Mudd will return as a scoundrel, but there's no mention, there's no backstory of how they first met him, and that's just the way it worked. The only thing I could think around this time that did do a serialized storytelling would be Batman. And with Batman, you didn't have to wait a week. Batman aired twice a week.
Right. It aired, what was, I don't know what days, like Tuesday and Wednesday.
I don't know if it was back to back. I think it was like one day apart. It might have been Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. But yeah, so that was the only one that I could think of that did that kind of follow through. And the only reason that the Menagerie, was it the Menagerie or the Cage? I always get them confused. The two-parter with Captain Pike was a two-parter is because they were short an episode, and fought the network to get a two-parter in there and reuse that footage.
Well, geez, this is number 28. How could they be short an episode?
Well, back in those days, a season was considerably longer. And if you look at in the 50s, a season of TV was almost 40 episodes. So like The Honeymooners, the classic 39, that's really one season of television.
Wow.
Live for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. So where, I know we're gonna the next time we meet. I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after, if we can. We're gonna do a tier list of all season 1 episodes. Just as of right now, where would you put this in the rankings of what you've seen and recall from season 1?
Towards the bottom.
Middle to.
I mean, there's some episodes that are worse that I don't like, but
yeah, there's like there's a handful of episodes that I just will go out of my way not to watch. Again, like I said, I'll watch this one when it's on. It's almost like maybe that should be a category, guilty pleasure from season 1. It's not great, but you'd watch it again.
Mm-hmm. This is a who is this? This is Popcorn 2008. Yeah, we're talking original series. This is the final episode of season 1 that we're talking about, Operation Annihilate. They're all in a playlist if you want to catch up. And like I said, in a couple of weeks we'll be doing a tier list of our favorite episodes. You can join us again then and get your 2 cents in is where you would like to put them. If you've seen, who hasn't seen them all? Other than me, apparently.
the host of the show hasn't seen
Yeah,
them all.
yeah.
But
Other than me, so
that's what prompted this rewatch.
yeah. So let me ask you guys, as far as season 2, what are you looking forward to? What are you dreading? Do you have any knowledge or recollection of episodes from back then?
Oh, that's very cool, Popcorn. That's emotion.
There's at least 3 or 4 that in season 2 I'm looking forward to.
So there are some what I would call real classics in season 2. Amok Time.
That's the first. That's the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Amok Time. I believe A Piece of the Action.
And that's the gangster one.
Which has always been I always have a soft spot in my heart for that episode. Let me just take a quick look because if I make a mistake here.
One of mine is Assignment Earth, but unfortunately, that's the last episode of season 2.
We'll get there, Debbie. I promise. We'll get there.
Yeah, this only took a year, I think.
Tribbles. That's a classic. Trouble with Tribbles.
Yeah. I mean, Tribbles is coming up. Mirror, Mirror, which is one of my top episodes. Let's see what else we have. The Doomsday Machine. We have The Return of Harry Mudd, Journey to Babel, Wolf in the Folds. As I said, A Piece of an Action, Private Little War, Patterns of Force with the Nazi planet, The Ultimate Computer, and yeah, I mean there's just a lot of great episodes coming up.
So they got Popcorn 2008. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate that. So we got some good watching to do.
Yeah, I think you'll see season 2. They've got their footing, and they really run with the ball. There's a lot more consistency in the characters. There's a lot more consistency in the storytelling, and even I would say the uneven episodes, there's more positive than negative in it.
And our main characters all make the titles?
No,
they're still not in the titles?
No. D gets in the titles, but that's it.
Does Scotty ever get into the titles?
No. But again, that wasn't really done in that time.
Jeez.
Yep. Only the end credits do they make it into.
Wow.
Did you guys freeze on me?
Is it me again? I'm moving.
Yeah. John froze. I don't hear him. I can hear you at least, Marty.
Okay. John froze, and it's in the worst possible facial contortion he could have frozen.
Oh, we lost him.
It must be raining in Texas.
Well, it's the end of the show anyways.
We'll give him a second to see if he can reboot his subspace transmitter.
Yeah, I don't recognize a lot of the titles in season 2. Like I said, there's like 3 or 4 that I guess really stuck in my brain when I originally watched these. So it'll be, except I don't like Harry Mudd. I really don't.
He's better in the second episode. He's definitely better in the second episode. They play him more comical than they do as a sleazeball. Popcorn,
Every
we're
Friday night.
usually on Friday
Oh,
nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time we start. He was back and then he's gone. So I think we have to wait for him to log in to shut this down. Let me just see if I can contact him.